it. You don't mind if I give your email to both John and Punkage? This is on the speed trap.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it to both of them.
Okay.
And just maybe get an update from you on speed. So most of these numbers, I didn't see that much on speeding, you know what I mean,
No.
as a cause or
Yeah.
a category.
I gotta be honest with you, I was surprised.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah. I mean, the motor vehicle stops is, the last 3 months has been above the normal average, which is 32. We went 33, 34.
Yeah.
40 last month. So, yeah, okay, we saw the spike. Big deal, right? I don't know. You know what I mean? And you guys push back every time you find an area to plug, you plug it. And then,
yeah,
And then
there's no
something
shortage
else.
of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's hurting sheep. You're just moving them from one. All right, we got them out of this pasture. Now we got a complaint they're over here. Now we got to go over there and move them somewhere. You know, it's just like, that's what it feels like.
Well,
But yeah, but they're out
that's
there.
kind of what the graph shows, you
Yeah.
know, your numbers, they go in cycles and.
Yeah. But we got them on Cromwell Avenue. We'll keep them out there for about 28 days and we'll see what we got.
Yeah.
What's going on, bud?
Well, it's helpful from the standpoint that us elected guys get to take some action. Okay, you put, mayor calls in and you put the trap out there, and nobody could say you weren't paying attention or you didn't try to do something to help
Yeah.
somebody, you know?
Yeah, not, so it's no different than when citizen calls with the same complaint.
Yeah.
Put it on the list. We'll get the machine out there as soon as,
Yep.
the rotation
The rotation.
allows. So, but, yeah, that guy's still hanging on, that driver.
Yeah, I haven't heard any. I figured we might get some.
He's still.
Hi, Ed. Yeah, John. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can hear. I can hear Ed. Sure, absolutely.
Rich is here. What's the special occasion?
I was actually invited.
Were you just driving by and
I was invited this
Saw
time.
the cars.
Ran out of gas.
Like to call to order the Public Safety Committee of Monday, June 21st at 5:30 PM. And with that, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
motion to approve?
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
They pass. We have a meeting open to public comment as usual. This is a hybrid meeting where we have both counselors in on Zoom as well as here in present body. And then we also have a presenter in Charles Brown from the Public Health District and our town's attorney as well. No public comment at this juncture, so we'll move to department updates, starting with fire.
Thank you, Ed. Just hit a couple of our, normal monthly stats. And for May, we responded to 52 incidents, which brings us up to 257. We recorded just about 300 training hours for a total of 1639 this year. And we had 2 injuries for a year-to-date 4. The manpower is still, or the personnel is still staying about the same at 75 with 64 active. We have several different leaves going on there. We added 1 new member, which brings to date 6 for the year. Couple of milestones we hit. All our PFAS foam was removed through the state take back program. So now we are 100% PFAS free in all we do. We've gone to a new encapsulant, which is working very well for us. We completed one of our goals for the year, which was successfully testing all the air pack tanks for the department. We've had no failures, and this next update is about 5 minutes old. The townwide GIS hydrant mapping has been completed, but talking to Assistant Chief Cromus, he has given the approval to send it out through the updates into the management software. A couple other things. The numbers I just went over, I don't think accurately convey how busy the fire department's been for the past month. We're about 10% busier than we were last year. And also about 15% of the past month's calls have been on 91. We've also had some long duration incidents, namely a tractor trailer rollover leaking hazardous material on 91 last week on June 15th. The week before, we had a motor vehicle accident rollover with ejection on Cromwell Ave about 1:15 in the morning. This came in while we were out at another call, and a large power outage resulted from the rollover, which created 7 other calls for service. So in a period of about 70 minutes, we had 8 calls for service, which makes for a fairly busy period. We are also accelerating our recruiting efforts, and tomorrow evening we'll be meeting with the representatives of Newington Fire Department, who have a very robust recruiting program, and we're going to see what we can learn from them, what works for them, what doesn't, and more to follow on that.
Thank you. Questions?
One question, Mike, on that rollover on Cromwell Avenue. Was that because of Cumberland Farms? Were they coming out of Cumberland Farms, or?
I don't know where they came out of. I can see if the police chief can help. I don't think so.
They were, I know the car was traveling north. I don't know anything about Cumberland Farms.
Okay, all right.
It was considerably north of that, though, John.
Oh, that's right, okay, I'm sorry, I thought there was one also near Cumberland.
There was an extrication a couple nights later at the corner of Cold Springs and Cromwell, right in front of the Bank of America. Is
Okay.
that what you're referring to?
Unless there was one a few months ago, or,
Yeah, John, that was a
Was
few
it-
months ago.
Was it a
Yeah.
few months ago? Was it because of Cumberland?
I
I
don't know
couldn't
about
answer
that.
Because I just hear a lot of complaints about people coming out and trying to swerve to the left lane to get onto West Street and all those other things that were trying to be avoided when this thing was being developed. So I was just kind of curious, that's all. Okay. That's it, thank you.
Counselor Prakash, questions for Chief Garrahy?
Is he on mute?
Unmute.
He's muted.
You're still muted.
Am I? No.
Now you're okay.
Yeah, no questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Question I have is, do you have a recollection of the number of calls in any one day or any one 24-hour period that you've had to respond to as a department? Because I believe the number, you 8 in a certain stretch, but I think you had 9 or 10 for that day as a total. for
Yeah,
that,
there were several.
Starting at
other-
midnight, just past midnight, and running through till about 6 that evening.
I don't have with me a grand total for a 24-hour period, but with that said, I think the busiest 24-hour periods are the storm-generated calls.
yes.
Yep, makes sense.
To include the power outages and so forth.
Okay, all right. I think of those 10, there were like 5 motor vehicle in there or something related that you had to go to, maybe 2 are less severe, but, okay, thank you. Moving on, ambulance.
Good evening. For the month of May, we had 334 calls. Year to date, 1,811 calls. Our current membership is 78. I believe we have 2 more new applications that just came in within the last couple of days, so hopefully. On May 23rd, 2021, we received an ambulance call for one of the local establishments for a person that fell with a head injury. While the crew was en route, they were notified that CPR had been started on this individual. The ambulance crew got there, working with the police department, our paramedic. They were able to revive the person and transport him to the hospital. My last update on him is he's survived, and we actually had a great CPR save with no deficits at all to him. He is going to rehab, and hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit of a ceremony after he's better and back on his feet. So, very proud of my crew. The police department, Sergeant Foss Rugen was there, and Officer Carpenter initiated CPR. When my crew showed up, it was Mary Ellen McGovern, Mitch Cooper, and Brianna Holster, and Jason Rodriguez was our paramedic that responded. Getting feedback from everybody on scene. The police department and the ambulance worked great together. Everybody knew their jobs, and it went flawlessly, and we were able to save the person, so kudos to them. And lastly, as of July 1st, Brian Goodrich will be taking over as chief. I thank the town council and the public safety committee for all of their support and continuous support throughout all the years. And just wanted to make you aware that there will be a change. That's it.
That's it, okay. Questions, Counselor Manning? Counselor Prakash?
No questions at this time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations on saving a life. So we're always try to celebrate that whenever we can. So thank you for that information. Report from the police.
Okay, for the month of May, there were 3,103 calls for service that went through our dispatch center. We had 21 criminal arrests for the month. We investigated 40 reported motor vehicle accidents 3 involving injuries, 37 non-injury. There were 38 motor vehicle infractions issued for the month and an additional 168 warnings issued for a total of 206 motor vehicle stops for the month. And we had 110 training hours for the month. And John, I took a look at this second row here, and there's still that little glitch on year-to-date motor vehicle theft that has been corrected, so it'll be proper in the next month's report.
Okay, thank you.
But speaking of stolen motor vehicles, because we've been kind of tracking that and thefts from motor vehicles, so we had 4 stolen motor vehicles in the month of May, which is basically where we were pre-pandemic. But we got hit pretty hard in May from thefts from motor vehicle. We had 35 for the month, which is exceptionally high. And looking back at the majority of those, gentlemen, it's the same story. Unlocked cars, valuables left inside. Some of them were in driveways, some of them were in garages, some of them were in public areas. But I was kind of surprised. When I saw the number, I started looking into them. I was still surprised at how many. Again, it's just unlocked vehicles. So, you know, just another PSA, you know, try to keep the cars locked when you're not in them, and valuables not in the vehicle as well would certainly help the cause. In terms of staffing, we presently have 2 officer vacancies, but they will be filled shortly. We have 2 candidates who are just finishing up on their background investigations, and everything is going well. They're actually on the last phase, just their medical exams. So we're anticipating having those 2 gentlemen on board by mid-July, both certified police officers, I might add, so they will not have to go away to the academy, and that'll bring us to our authorized staff. We have 1 records clerk vacancy, but happily I can report that will be filled next Monday. We have a candidate on board who's passed the background, will be coming on board with us Monday. She is a records clerk from the city of Meriden. Is coming over to the town of Rocky Hill, so we're very happy to have her, and she'll be here Monday. And in addition to that, the only other thing I have is we do have 1 officer medical leave, back-related injury, work-related, so I don't have any additional information at this time as to when he'll be back. Otherwise, we're looking good in the staffing area. No community service events to report for May, but I'm happy to say that that's going to start picking up this month. We started scheduling those now that things are opening up. And we recently had a event at Scoops and Sprinkles, so as those start rolling in, I'll be reporting on those as well. Other than that, I believe that's all I have at this time.
Thank you. Questions, Counselor? Counselor Prakash?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
I just wanted to reaffirm, what were the theft count for May? Car theft count for May?
So we had for the month a total of,
35?
yes, 35.
35, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, a lot of them unlocked vehicles with valuables.
Well, May was a busy motor vehicle month. I mean, 35 thefts, but then 40 motor vehicle accidents in May.
Correct.
I mean, we are seeing you around quite a bit, and the activity on the streets, and in any event, and hearing the sirens. So we appreciate you working hard at that. All right, emergency management. John, you have notes on that?
Yes, the emergency management is moving to a new notification system for Rocky Hill. The program's called CT Alert, used statewide to provide essential information quickly to the public for various emergency situations. CT Alert messages can be received, emergency messages can be received by text, phone call, email, or mobile application. It started to go into effect June 1st, I guess, with testing and so on. So if residents want to sign up for this, they just have to go to www.ctalert.gov, and I guess just follow the directions.
Thank you. All right. Moving along, old business, update from Central Connecticut Health District. Charlie Brown, are you on the line?
Don't see him.
Charles? Okay, we're going to move on to old business item B, state conveyance of the 7.5 acre land to the town. Update on that?
Yes, that was in a Senate bill, I guess 1116, concerning conveyance of parcel of state land to the town of Rocky Hill. I guess the action was favorable. However, the Department of Transportation, the agency responsible for the property, opposed the bill as written. They approved the release of the portion of the property. However, a section of the land in the rear of the property must be retained for the Department of Transportation's use. So the department asked that the bill be amended to allow the commissioner to determine the size and area of parcels to be conveyed. So it's been approved, but they're just going to adjust the amount of land the town's going to be
So
getting.
probably rewriting it for the special
Yeah, so
session we're in.
Instead of 7.5, we probably get 6 acres or something. Probably want some land that's close to the highway. So I'm not sure whether that was in the implementer or whatever, those bills that they
The
passed.
implementer, yes.
So it
Questions,
was a
John?
plus.
No? Okay, sorry.
No, I was just saying, it sounds like it's a yes, but it's just being refined, gerrymandered.
Question, Counselor Prakash? No?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay. New business. This is, we're going to hear from our town attorney, Carrie Olson, on the concierge apartments. Carrie, are you available? You're on mute.
There we go.
Awesome.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
First of all, thank you for accommodating my crazy schedule today and allowing me to participate by Zoom. I'm sorry I'm not there. So, as you know, we commenced a civil lawsuit against the Wells Apartments, and we, in concert with the Central Connecticut Health District, have alleged various violations of the public health code, your housing codes, building codes, and fire codes. We commenced the lawsuit. They failed to file an appearance, which means acknowledgement of service of the lawsuit in the time required by state law in the practice book. And we filed a motion for default. Following the motion for default, within a day, I had a call from Ralph Keene, who is an attorney in Glastonbury, who has been called upon, or Farmington or Glastonbury, I apologize, I don't recall, who has been called upon to represent Century Hills on various matters over the years. He's sort of their outside counsel. I had a lengthy conversation with him. I told him what was going on. I submitted to him the video of the most recent fire that took place at the Century Hill Apartments. I basically told him the situation was untenable, but that I was very happy that they had a local attorney on board so that we could try to reach a resolution of all of the issues that are facing the town with respect to Century Hills. Following that, and it was actually kind of odd, I received an email from an in-house attorney at Century Hills, to my knowledge, not a litigator, who asked for additional time to respond to our complaint. My response was that we are not going to agree to any extensions of time, given the public safety issues involved, and advise them that Ralph Keene had reached out to me, the attorney purportedly representing them, and that we have been in contact on how to proceed. Currently, where things stand is they have until June 24th to answer our complaint, meaning file a pleading that addresses all of the various allegations that we submitted in our complaint. Today is the 21st. I have not heard from Ralph. I have not seen a motion for extension of time that may come. But we are going to be obviously very aggressive. If no pleading is filed on the 24th, we will file a motion for default for failure to plead, and we will move forward accordingly. To all of you in public safety, what I would ask and advise is that you continue to be very aggressive with your notice of violations and any other citations or whatever are necessary within your respective ambits, but that you copy me on anything that is served, and that if in fact something occurs that is an immediate threat within your jurisdiction, we can move the court for an immediate temporary injunction. The problem with an immediate temporary injunction is that it's just that. It deals with what's before the court at that time. And many of our allegations deal with this sort of pattern of ignoring all of you. Oftentimes they'll eventually fix the problem, but they always challenge each of you at the outset by either not having somebody on board to fix the health or fire violations immediately, or by having people conduct building code, conduct work on the property that's required to comply with building codes. Again, the problem is the immediacy. And so again, I encourage you, if there is anything that requires immediate action because they're not being responsive, please let me know and we'll file that motion to tee things up. Aside from that, we will file a motion for default for failure to plead. We're hopeful that with Ralph on board, we can reach some kind of an understanding, maybe even a stipulated judgment going forward. Can't say for sure that that's going to happen, but that's certainly the most cost-effective way to deal with this. And so at the end of the day, it's one step at a time. I'll know a little more in 3 days. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Oh, thank you. Questions, Councilor Emmanuel?
No questions.
Councilor Prakash?
Can you send to
No.
the complainant in a lobby?
Thank you.
in regards to the case you took back?
John, any questions from the town point of view, or our fire marshal, Rich Renstrom?
I have no questions.
So maybe we could see what the violation list looks like? No?
So what I would recommend is, because we are working with the town attorney, who is working with the attorney for concierge, to just wait. And we'll see what happens. I don't hold a lot of hope out, but let's wait.
All right. Good with
So
that?
if I may, Mr. Chairman, again, I think it's important for us to hold our feet to the fire. And to the extent that I don't get timely responses from Attorney Keene, I think it's very important for us to keep moving the litigation forward, to keep their feet to the fire. I am getting weekly, if not sometimes daily, updates from the various public safety factions of the town, including the health district, of ongoing issues. And I want you to know we so appreciate how important this is. I mean, this is not, a 2 or 3 multifamily home. We're talking, hundreds of apartments, hundreds of residents of Rocky Hill that are being impacted. And please know that we take this seriously. So our objective is to keep their feet to the fire. I know Kim asked for updates from all of you as to what other outstanding violations there are. And I encourage you again to copy myself and her on any new violations or issues that come up. and we will take appropriate action.
Carrie, I just have one question, just educational wise. Worst case, legally, worst case scenario, what's an injunction do in this case?
So what we're seeking is what's called a mandatory injunction, which basically, there's two parts to it. Instead of being just an injunction that says, you know, you have to stop doing X. For example, you have to stop allowing garbage to accumulate in the garage, that kind of thing. We're actually asking for a mandatory injunction. Some of the major issues that have faced the town are ongoing issues. For example, one of the biggest bones of contention of your public health district is the fact that there are exposed pipes in the parking garage of Century Hills. And every single winter, they tell the property manager, you need to insulate the pipes. And they ignore it. And so every winter, the pipes burst. And numerous residents are left without water. So while ultimately it gets fixed down the road, our notion is to get a court to advise them that they have to take certain steps, like insulating the pipes, like getting proper building permits before any work is done in any of the apartments, and seeking, the ability to go after them for civil contempt if they fail to do so. And that's why I say it's sort of a moving target, because ultimately it may take months, but they eventually fix the problem. The problem is that it takes months, and then it happens over and over and over and over again. And so that's your moving target. And that's why today, without knowledge of an existing violation, it's difficult for us to seek an immediate injunction. But if you learn of facts contrary to that, we're ready to pounce. So,
But if they don't comply, Carrie, within a certain amount of required time, is it financial penalty? Like a daily
So
fine?
again, it would be as an order of the court. They violate the order, and it's contempt. And so the penalties for contempt is anything from jail to significant civil penalties.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So would we possibly get the ability to make the repairs ourselves at their cost? I mean, is that the type of thing where we could bring in a contractor of our choosing and just get these things corrected?
Potentially we could. And again, because there are so many violations that run through various departments, it's kind of hard to put your finger on anything that's outstanding at the precise moment. And so an overarching court order that says that they have to comply with the building code, the fire code, the health code, and that any violations on a going forward basis of any of those codes allows us to come in and seek civil penalties and potentially, as you point out, injunctive relief to go on the property, correct the problem, and charge the cost back to the property owner. That's our objective.
Okay, yeah, because it sounds like if there's an incident, whether it's a burst pipe or not, it's taxing our emergency response services. Everybody's rushing up there and it's a burst pipe and blah, blah, blah. And, they're another call in the evening or the day or whatever. All right, well, so you'll know within days where you stand if you're going to if they're in default or whether they quickly file. And you will be, is there some way for this committee to know? John, Perkins, and myself?
Certainly. I copy John on all updates. So, however, John generally communicates with all of you,
All right,
unless
good.
you would like John to share your group emails with me, and then I can update you directly.
All right, I think we'll just get an update from John once he sees what it is from staff. So thank you. All right, cool.
And then before you move on, just so that you know, when I do respond to Kim, there's generally somebody from each department that's included in that email, including the health district. So And again, if somebody wants to be included in that group, just have them send John their email and I'll make sure they're included.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kim, are you here to speak at all, or on this topic?
I was asked to be in attendance in case, I didn't know if Carrie was going to appear or not, so, but I have the file with all the violations right here.
All right, I think we're probably good unless you want to hear from planning and zoning. I think we're good on that. I don't believe we have any other business, John.
No, nothing else.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.